Hello everyone, this is the cello video for Medieval Kings measures 1 to 25, it's a little bit more than half the song, but so this video we're going to focus on the measures 1 to 25, first working on little sections and then running it from the beginning to measure 25. This is the regular cello part, so if you're beginner cello, you want to find the video that's beginner cello, Medieval Kings. So what I'd like to start off first is looking at measure 13, which is where we have our melody. So we want to make sure that it's forte, that it stands out, and making sure that our fingers are right where they're supposed to be, especially our first finger, because we have to go from D1 to A1. So we have to make sure that when we move our finger over, that it stays on the first finger tape. So I want us to practice measures. We're going to basically play from 13 to 17. Let me play the first two measures first, just so you can get a feel for the tempo that we're going right now. So we're going to go. That's going to be our rhythm, okay? So we're going to start at measure 13 and play to measure 17. Nice and loud. Bow on the string, D1 or E. I'll count to 4. 1, 2, ready, play. Again. Super important that you bring that out. Make sure it's nice and loud. You'll probably have to press down a little bit harder than you'd think because it's sort of low on the register. Like when the violins played the same melody earlier, it's a little bit easier for them to play louder because the strings are higher. So because we're a little bit lower, we want to make sure that we really dig into the string to make sure it stands out. The biggest thing is just making sure your first finger is always where it's supposed to be. Sometimes when we were rehearsing before, I would notice that finger is the one that's out of tune the majority of the time. And we have a lot of ones using our first finger in this song. So make sure that it's where it's supposed to be. Always just glance over, make sure it's right on that tape. All right, before we run it, let's look at measure 7. So we're backtracking a little bit. So right at measure 7, we have pianissimo. So this is where the violas have that melody part that comes out that sometimes I have trouble hearing them. So we want to make sure that we really bring it down to piano so we can hear the viola line there. But then as you can see at measure 9, we have the forte. So we can really bring it out there. So let's have here a really clear difference between piano and forte. So let's start at measure 7 and we're going to play to measure 13. So basically it goes from piano to forte back to piano. So let's try it. We start on A1 or B. So piano here. So 1, 2, ready, play. Forte. Piano. And then at 13 is when we really bring it out. All right, so we're going to practice running it. We're going to start from the very beginning and play all the way to measure 25. If you'd like to pause the video and work on a couple more spots before we run it, it's totally fine. You can do that. All right, from the beginning, really practice dynamics. Listen to yourself. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Lift. Forte. Piano. play. All right. So, real quick before we end, so just to note that where we just ended, those last two measures where you play the melody, it's still forte. Even though we were resting beforehand, the dynamic doesn't change when we come back in. So make sure that it's still forte when we play the melody there. All right, stay tuned for the next video for when we work on the second part of this. Bye.